So good afternoon, everyone. Today's topic will be on the reproductive system. So this is the last topic of our course, no? So this is included in your final exams. So I think lectures uploaded over there. The recording will be uploaded a little bit later. Try ko mamayang hapon. Okay. So uh, So first, let's go with the male reproductive system. Kasi syempre, di ba, magkaiba yung reproductive system ng males, magkaiba yung reproductive system ng females. And as we know, uh, the sperm and the egg produced by the reproductive systems of these two uh, sexes combine to form your fertilized egg. Your zygote that becomes a fetus that becomes a human being later on. No? So, doon muna tayo sa male reproductive system. So, your male reproductive system has different parts. You have your testes, you have your genital ducts, your accessory glands, and your penis. No? So, the overall functions of your male reproductive system is to produce your sperm, secrete hormones that determine your secondary sexual characteristics, as well as to produce substances that are required for sperm activity. So, hindi lang sperm. Yung nilalaman ng secretions ng male reproductive system, diba? You call the secretions semen, no? So, the semen is a complex substance produced by male reproductive organs, and it's a mixture of your sperm, as well as the secretions that are conducive to the life of the sperm. So, we will discuss that later on, and what organs produce those uh, elements found in the semen, no? So, ito yung testis. Review ng quick anatomy, testis. This one is the epididymis, yung parang nakapatong dyan. Okay? After the epididymis, you have your ductus deferens or your vas deferens. Okay? The ductus deferens goes into the prostate gland to, di ba? So, another thing, joining the prostate gland is your seminal vesicle. Yung seminal vesicle also sends secretions to the prostate gland, and then we will now go to the urethra. Okay? Sa urethra, meron ding nag-empty doon, yung bulbourethral gland. Okay? And then, this is the penile urethra. Okay? Until you reach the end of the penis where the ejaculate is, well, the ejaculate is excreted, no? Or ejaculated, no? So, here, let's start with the testes. Your testes is your male gonads, no? So this is the site wherein you produce your sperm, no? Your testes is a pair of organs located in the scrotum, di ba? Yung scrotum yung, ito, tinatawag natin balls, di ba? In layman's terms. So meron ka dapat sa left, meron ka dapat sa right. Minsan, pag may mga bata, check up sila, o kaya, pag kinapa nila, isa lang, ibig sabihin, one of their testes did not descend, okay? Kasi when you were in utero, kunyari, this is a dude, no? When you were in utero, yung testis mo actually, hindi siya galing wala siya sa harap, okay? The testis wasn't located anterior to the body. It was actually located near the back. Tapos, it just went along its course and descended para mapunta sa anterior portion. Okay? Doon sa may bandang eggshell area. Okay? Bakit kailangan mag-descend ng testis during development? Because the sperm cells are temperature sensitive, no? Hindi nila kayang i-tolerate ang hot temperatures when and the core of your body has high temperature, 'di ba? Kasi nandun lahat ng nangyayari ng kaganapan. So, the core of your body is high temperature, pero yung sperm mo requires a lower temperature than your usual body temperature. So, kailangan siyang ilabas. Okay? Kaya siya nilalabas para yung sperm cells mo ay hindi mamamatay. So, the testis should descend. Okay? The testis should descend. Kapag hindi siya nag-descend, tapos nakapanila na isa lang yung uh, isa lang yung laman ng scrotum niya, uh, uh, that warrants a check-up. Tapos, check din kung nasaan yung testis na hindi nag-descend. And usually, it's removed surgically. Or, kung kaya i-descend, i-descend siya. Okay? So, what happens during the descent of the testis? May nahahatak siyang mesothelium. Okay, sa pag-descend ng testis, di ba yung kanina, nag-descend yung testis papunta sa scrotum. When the testis is descending, may nahatak siyang epithelium. And yung nahatak niyang epithelium is actually the peritoneum in the abdominal cavity. Okay? So, nahatak niya yung peritoneum in the abdominal cavity. Kaya pagdating niya sa scrotum, meron siyang covering galing sa abdominal cavity. And that covering is called the tunica vaginalis. Okay? Tunica vaginalis na yung tawag. Doon sa covering na yun, pagdating niya sa scrotum. Okay? The tunica vaginalis is a mesothelial sac. So, uh, mesothelium to, no? Simple squamous epithelium na may pinaproduce sa secretions. So, it's a mesothelial sac that covers the anterior surface of each testis. Okay, so ito yun. This is the tunica vaginalis, no? So, para din siyang pericardium, di ba? Dalawang layer. Merong visceral at may parietal layer. Yung visceral, yung mas labas. Yung parietal, yun nakadikit doon sa testis mismo. Okay? This tunica vaginalis is located immediately under the skin. Okay? So, after the skin, you have your tunica vaginalis, and then underneath, and then another covering that you see, the one that covers the posterior portion naman of your testis is your tunica albuginea. Okay, your tunica albuginea is a dense connective tissue capsule that covers the posterior portion of your testis. So albu is albus. Okay, albus is white. Okay, albus is white. So pag alam mo na rin, nakita mo yung albus na yan, word, or yung itong prefix na albu, albi, letter A. That's white, no? So you know that there's a white connective tissue covering sa may posterior portion of your testis. That's why you call it tunica albuginea. Okay? Kulay puti yung connective tissue capsule. Diba si Albus Dumbledore? Albus, kulay puti yung balbas niya. So, para maalala nyo, it's white. Okay? White connective tissue covering. So, that's the external covering of the testis. Once you go inside, meron tayong internal structure of the testis na tinatawag, no? The internal structure is divided, the testis is divided by septa. So, these are walls. So, your tunica albuginea extends inside your testis. And they act as walls that separates your testis into lobules. Okay? So, yung nagsiseparate ng testis into lobules are your septa. Okay? Okay? And each of the lobules contain seminiferous tubules. Okay? So, your seminiferous tubules, yung parang isaw dito sa loob. Yun yung seminiferous tubules. Okay? Okay, so your seminiferous tubules, sila yung parang isaw na nakikita mo per lobule. There are 250 to 1,000 tubules per testicular lobule. And what are the contents of the seminiferous tubules? You have your spermatogenic epithelium, the basement membrane upon which it rests, the myoid cells that are needed when the seminiferous tubules contract, and then your Sertoli cells, which are supportive cells. No? So, they nurse the sperm habang sila ay nagde-develop. No? So, let's look at them histologically. So, this is the lobule. Makikita mo dito yung lobule, di ba? Sabi natin, tunica albuginea extensions, you have your septa. Letter S dyan. Okay. So, this is the septa. Your septa. Your septa. And your septa separates your testis into different lobules. So, ito yung mga lobules mo. Okay. Okay. So, next. So, ganito. Itsura, no? Ito itsura ngayon, no? Seminiferous tubules natin, no? So, this one is a seminiferous tubule. Sabi natin, merong myoid cells, yung letter M, okay, that are needed for contraction, okay? And you also see actually something called interstitial cells, okay? The interstitial cells are typically located there near the capillaries, and these interstitial cells secrete what we call androgens, no? So they secrete androgens, testosterone, etc. Okay? And then, ito, interstitial cells as well as myoid cells. Okay? Interstitial cells are also known as the cells of Leydig. No? The interstitial cells of Leydig. Okay? Ito yung interstitial cells. Interstitial cells are round polygonal cells with central nuclei and eosinophilic cytoplasm. So the Leydig cells or your interstitial cells are cells that are responsible for the secretion of androgens, namely testosterone. Diba? Testosterone, production of testosterone promotes the development of secondary male sexual characteristics. So yung growth of pubic hair, growth of underarm hair, chest hair, etc. facial hair. It also promotes enlargement of your voice box, kaya lumalaki yung boses ng mga kalalakihan pag nagbibidata sila. And increase in stature as well as body mass. There's a heavier skull. The structure becomes then bone structure becomes denser, and adult males become taller than adult females on average. So Leydig cells are also known as interstitial cells. Okay, so ito. Okay, so balikan natin to. So here, di ba? Interstitial cells, these are your Leydig cells. Okay, you have your myoid cells. Ito yung seminiferous tubule. May basement membrane ka dyan. Other peaks of your seminiferous tubules, di ba? This is the basement membrane upon which your epithelium rests, no? Tapos, you have your basement membrane over here then. Okay, so thing to know about your seminiferous tubules is the more immature sperm cells are located mas malapit sa basement membrane. The more mature they become, mas malapit sila sa gitna. Okay, so yung mga spermatogonium, the immature sperm, mas malapit sila sa basement membrane. Yung mga spermatocytes na mas malapit na maging spermatids, uh, mas malapit na sila sa lumen of the seminiferous tubules. Okay? Eventually, they can become late spermatids, early spermatids. Okay? You also see your Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells are the supportive cells or the nurse cells, no? That is conducive to the life of the sperm, no? So, ano yung Sertoli cells? Sertoli cells are physically and metabolically supporting cells that help the development of your sperm cell precursors, like your spermatogonia and your spermatids, no? They produce androgen binding protein and phagocytose shed debris from differentiating spermatids. Kasi later on, we'll discuss how your spermatids differentiate. Your seminiferous tubules also secrete fluid that carries the sperm along the tubules, no? So, maraming kasama yung sperm talaga natin. Okay? So, how does sperm develop? Okay? It develops initially in the process called spermatogenesis. Okay? Spermatogenesis. So, your genesis, are you generating or creating new spermatids? Okay? So, it starts as spermatogonium. Spermatogonium are diploid cells. So, 2N. Diploid cells containing 46 chromosomes or 23 pairs, no? Kapag diploid pa siya, okay? Spermatogonium diploid pa siya, okay? Then the spermatogonium, kapag yung spermatogonium mo nag-undergo ng mitosis, you produce another spermatogonium, no? Okay? And then you call them these cells called when these cells commit to meiosis na, you call them now primary spermatocytes. Okay, when they commit to meiosis, you call them primary spermatocytes. Okay, your primary spermatocytes nag-commit na sa meiosis, so it will undergo, sorry, ano nangyayari sa aking annotator? It will undergo meiosis 1. Okay, it will undergo meiosis 1. Under meiosis 1, the 46 chromosomes will be divided into 2. So magiging 23 each 23 each spermatocyte. So this one is still diploid, no? Okay? And this one is still diploid. Okay? Then, so 23 pairs pa rin siya. Ay, sorry. 23 pairs pa rin siya. Okay? And then, after meiosis, kapag 23 pairs na siya, ay sorry, pag 23 na siya, chromosomes each, na naka-pair siya, you call them secondary spermatocyte. Okay? Secondary spermatocyte. Okay? Pag 23. Pag 46, that's primary. Pag 23 na lang, it's secondary. Pag yung naka-pair, yung 23 na yun, na per chromosome may ka-pair pa rin. So, uh, si secondary spermatocyte, once it undergoes meiosis 2, you now form your spermatid. Okay? Spermatid. Okay? So, under meiosis 2, you form your spermatid, no? So 23 pa rin, pero solo na lang yung chromosome, 'di ba? Kasi yung kanina, kung kunyari ganyan siya. Kunyari, this is chromosome number 1. Okay? So, dito, dalawang kopya pa ng chromosome number 1. Okay, kunyari, dalawang kopya pa ng chromosome number 1 sa spermatogonium tsaka sa primary spermatocyte. Pag hinati mo si primary spermatocyte, ino lang makukuha mo. Okay? Pag hinati mo pa si secondary spermatocyte, mahati na siya sa gitna. Pero pa rin still, 23 pa rin. Okay? So, you have your spermatids. Okay? So, the process by which your spermatogonium becomes your spermatids, yun yung ating spermatogenesis. Okay? Until you reach your spermatid level. Yun yung spermatogenesis. Okay? So, subset of your spermatogenesis. So, nakikita niyo pala dito, before I forget to mention, di ba? The closer you are to the basement membrane, mas immature yung cells. Okay? So, yung mga spermatids, sila na yung pinakamalalapit sa lumen. Okay? Ay, sorry. Hindi sila yung pinakamalapit. Pero, palapit na sila ng papalapit sa lumen. Okay? Once you become spermatids, it will now undergo the process of spermiogenesis. Okay? Spermiogenesis is the process by which your spermatids undergo in order to become sperm. Okay, so ano nangyayari sa spermatids natin? Di ba ganito sila? Nung spermatids pa sila. Wala pa silang buntot. Wala pa silang flagella needed for locomotion. Pero alam natin, your sperm are swimmers, no? So what happens in order for them to take that final form? Spermiogenesis, no? So the nucleus will condense para magkasya siya sa loob ng maliit na head of the sperm. There is formation of the flagellum. Yung flagella is 'di ba, is there for locomotion. And as well as the mitochondrial middle piece, which is responsible for providing the energy for the sperm to swim. And then the acrosomal cap, okay, yung top portion ng sperm natin will then be formed. Okay, so kasi yun yung magka-come in contact with the ovum, no? And that acrosomal cap actually contains a lot of enzymes and signaling molecules. Okay, so that's how your sperm is developed, no? So, so you have your sperm na already. Let's go to the next portion of the reproductive tract, which is your epididymis. Okay, so the epididymis is 4 to 5 meters in length. So, mahaba siya, na-condense lang siya sa loob, no? This is where sperm maturation occurs. So, final modifications of your sperm cells occur in the epididymis. And it has 3 different areas, no? You have your head, your body, and your tail. Sa head, dun napupunta yung sperms. Dun unang pumapasok yung sperm cells papunta sa epididymis, no? And then, they undergo modifications in the body and are primarily stored in the tail until they are ejaculated. No? And the lining epithelium of your epididymis is actually pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Okay? So, similar to your respiratory tract. Pero, hindi siya ciliated. Okay? So, here is the lining epithelium of your epididymis, no? So, ito mong DNA yan, that's ductus epididymis. So, ayan ano yan ang epididymis, di ba? Sabi natin, it's 4 to 5 up to 6 meters in length. So, naka-coiled siya dyan, parang isaw din. Okay? So, uh, so, so the ducts of your epididymis are enclosed by connective tissue, no? So, itong nasa paligid na to, it's connective tissue with lots of blood vessels and covered by a capsule and your tunica vaginalis. Okay, so uh, when you look closer at the epithelium of your epididymis, di ba? It's surrounded by smooth muscle. Kasi when you ejaculate, kailangan forceful. So may smooth muscle dyan. Okay, what else do you see? This is the epithelium. You can see it's columnar. The levels of the nuclei are not the same. So this is pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Okay, pseudostratified columnar epithelium with stereocilia. Okay, stereocilia, not cilia. Kung sa respiratory tract, pseudostratified columnar with cilia. Dito, pseudostratified columnar with stereocilia. Okay, stereocilia. Okay, and in the middle, you find your sperm cells. Kasi di ba nga sa epididymis, ini-store yung sperm before ejaculation. Sorry. Okay? So after the epididymis, it proceeds to the ductus deferens or the vas deferens. Okay, so the vas deferens is made up of three layers of smooth muscle needed for peristaltic movement. Okay, lining epithelium is still pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Okay, so itong ductus deferens, the peristalsis is needed, syempre, for ejaculation para ma-rapidly move yung sperm along the ducts, no? Kasi kailangan forceful kasi the sperm has to travel a long way during intercourse, di ba? Galing siya sa hanggang saan lang naman ba ang naabot ng penis, vagina, until siguro sagad na kumakarating ng cervix. Pero ang kailangan marating ng egg cells mo, ay ng sperm cells mo, kailangan makarating siya ng fallopian tube. Kasi yung egg cells mo, wala naman siya sa uterus, nasa fallopian tube siya. So malayo yung lalakbay na. So malaking tulong kung malakas yung force of contraction nitong vas deferens mo para mas malayo, kumbaga ah, sa pagbato niya ng sperm, malayo agad yung mararating. Okay? So, here is the ductus deferens. You can see the different layers of smooth muscle, no? Sorry. Oh, why like that? Okay, so here are the different layers of the smooth muscle. You can see this one, the letter M is the mucosa. Of course, you have the mucosa over here. And then, longitudinal smooth muscle. And then, with an intervening layer of circular smooth muscle. Okay? And then, another longitudinal smooth muscle. So, three layers of smooth muscle. And then, the outside is adventitia. Okay? Ganun din. More of the same. And then, the lining epithelium is pseudostratified columnar epithelium, some with stereocilia, some without. Okay? So, after the ductus deferens, okay, the ductus deferens starts mula dun sa may tail na epididymis. Okay? Dire-diretso until papasok siya ngayon sa prostate gland. Okay? So, pagpasok niya sa prostate gland, may iba pang other glands that also enter the prostate. And these are your seminal vesicles. Okay? Your seminal vesicles are lined with both simple and pseudostratified columnar epithelium. And these are glands that make up the majority of your ejaculate. No, it makes up 70% of the semen, and it contains fructose, prostaglandins, and fibrinogen. Okay, the fructose is there because it serves as the main energy source of your sperm. Okay, it serves as the main, it's not glucose, it's fructose. So it's fruit sugar. Okay. So next, you have your prostaglandins that stimulate the activity in the female reproductive tract. So as well as your fibrinogen, no? Kasi your your semen uh, uh, coagulates after ejaculation. So bumubuo siya. Okay, so yung coagulation time ng semen is also an important characteristic that you have to uh, test for when testing for infertility. So dapat there's a certain normal value that there has to be achieved para masabing uh, possible uh, or good yung viability ng sperm. Okay? So, ito yung itsura ng seminal vesicles. Okay? Okay? So, as you can see, dito, okay? So, the mucosa has many thin folds, as you can see, dito sa seminal vesicle, no? And then, they are surrounded by layers of smooth muscle. Okay? Surrounded by layers of smooth muscle. Okay? And a very thin lamina propria na hindi masyadong kita in this image. Okay? So, uh, ganito. Okay? Tapos yung nasa pagitan, that's the lamina propria. Okay? So, may mucosal folds ka, lamina propria in between, tapos smooth muscle sa ilan. Okay? So, your seminal vesicles and your ductus deferens all drain into uh, they all connect and they drain into the uh, prostatic urethra. Okay? Ay, sorry. Also, into the prostate gland, no? Yung secretions nila, papunta sa may prostatic urethra kung saan sila nagmi-mix. Okay? So, nandun ka na ngayon sa prostate gland. So, your prostate gland is a gland located beneath your urinary bladder, no? So, it's a dense organ surrounding the urethra, below the urinary bladder. So, basically, it's a collection of many glands that's embedded in a dense fibromuscular stroma. Okay? So, and the prostate gland is divided into three zones. You have a transition zone, a central zone, and a peripheral zone. So this one is the transition zone, the central zone, and then the peripheral zone. No, uh, so the transition zone surrounds the superior portion of the urethra. It contains the mucosal glands of your prostate. Your central zone comprises 25% of the prostate. And then the peripheral zone is practically the bulk, no? It's 70% of the organ's tissue. Okay? So, anong importance itong zones na to? When males get older, some of them, well, a lot of them have enlarging prostates, no? Yung tinatawag nating benign prostatic hypertrophy. Hindi siya cancer, benign. So, it just happens naturally, pero it doesn't have the risk of spreading to other body parts. That's why it's benign. Okay, benign prostatic hypertrophy or hyperplasia. Ito yung mga, if you're familiar, kung sa mga tatay nyo, umiinom sila ng tamsulosin, etc. Yun yung, yun yung condition being treated by that medicine. Okay? So, pag lumalaki, yung part of the prostate, sa benign prostatic hypertrophy, usually it involves your transitional zone. Okay? It usually involves your transitional zone. Anong significance nun? Kasi dahil yung transitional zone mo, doon lumalaki yung cells, ano nangyayari? Naiipit o lumiliit yung butas ng prostatic urethra. Okay? Lumiliit yung butas ng prostatic urethra. Therefore, may hirapan yung pasyente na umihi or magkakaroon siya ng putol-putol na paghihi niya or mahirapan siya umihi or there's incontinence, no? So, depends, no? So, depende sa tao. Okay? Pero urinary symptoms ang makikita mo in these people. Okay? Meanwhile, prostate cancer, common cancer in men, usually starts at the peripheral zone. Okay? So, it usually starts in the peripheral zone. Anong significance nun? Well, prostate cancer is not as easy to detect as benign prostatic hyperplasia. Kasi, una sa lahat, hindi siya magiging symptomatic agad-agad unless the mass is very large. So, kahit na lumalaki to, nang lumalaki, hindi naman niya may impede agad yung pag-ihi nung patient unless the mass grows very large. No? So, sometimes it becomes too late. So, maganda kung talaga nagpapacheck pa rin uh, annually, no? Para in order to uh, for early detection if ever. Okay? So, forgot to mention, the lining of your prostate gland is pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Okay, so pseudostratified columnar epithelium, ang sasagot nyo sa lining epithelium ng reproductive system pag hindi nyo alam ang sagot. Okay? So, itsura ng prostate glands, di ba sabi natin? It's a collection of tubuloacinar glands embedded in a dense fibromuscular stroma. So, ito yung stroma. Okay? Fibromuscular stroma surrounding your prostate glands. Okay, so ito yung mga glands mo. Maliliit lang sila. Okay, small tubuloacinar glands. Okay? One thing you can see in the prostate gland sometimes is your corpora amylacea kapag madami. Corpus amylaceum pag singular lang. Okay? Your corpora amylacea are concretions sometimes seen in the prostate gland. Okay? Amylacea, amylacea. Corpus amylaceum kapag prostate. Okay? Iba yung sa pineal, di ba? Corpora arenacea yun. Ito amylaceum. Ami. Okay? So, next, you have your bulbourethral glands. No? So, kanina, seminal vesicles draining into the prostate. Now, you have your bulbourethral glands draining into the penile urethra naman. Okay, sa penile urethra. Okay? This is your Cowper's glands. Okay? So, nasa gilid siya ng penile urethra, draining to the penile urethra, sa baba ng prostate. This area is called the urogenital diaphragm. No? So, dyan nakalagay yung bulbourethral gland. Okay, so this bulbourethral gland also produces secretions, no, that will mix into your semen. Okay, it releases a clear mucus-like secretion that coats and lubricates your urethra in preparation for the imminent passage of sperm. Okay? So, pag nakarating mo na sa initial pedal urethra, you've now entered the penis. Okay, so the penis is made up of three cylindrical masses of erectile tissue, the penile urethra, and the skin. Okay, you have the corpora cavernosa, the corpus spongiosum, and the penile urethra. Ano yung tsura nun? Okay, so at the ventral portion, ventral, dorsal, harap, likod. Okay, so ventral portion is the corpus spongiosum. So it's spongy. Okay, it's the corpus spongiosum, and it surrounds your penile urethra. Okay, it surrounds your urethra. Sa likod ng corpus spongiosum, merong connective tissue covering tunica albuginea, as we mentioned earlier. You have a lot of tunica albuginea. Okay, so the tunica albuginea surrounds two cylindrical masses, yung tinatawag nating corpora cavernosa. Okay, corpora cavernosa. Okay, so along the dorsal side runs most of your blood vessels. Okay, and deep in each mass of erectile tissue, merong mga smaller blood vessels dyan. Okay, so the blood vessels fill up when the penis is erect. Tapos during ejaculation, the arteries constrict, no? In order to empty the cavernous tissue surrounding your penis. Okay? So, ano nangyayari during penile erection? The blood fills the cavernous spaces in the tissue. And this penile erection is triggered by external stimuli uh, to the central nervous system. Okay? So, and it's controlled by autonomic nerves. So, iba yung effect ng sympathetic sa parasympathetic in terms sa penis, no? When you're have parasympathetic stimulation, the tendency is towards erection. Okay? Parasympathetic is erection. Okay? Parasympathetic is uh, erection. Bakit? Kasi there is relaxation. Kasi diba, parasympathetic is rest and digest. Okay? Rest and digest. So, relax dapat. So, there's relaxation of the smooth muscle. So, pag nag-relax yung smooth muscles, yung smooth muscles surrounding your arteries also relax. And there will be dilation of the arteries. Oh, so, pag dilated yung arteries mo, there will be increased blood flow and filling of the cavernous spaces in the penis, and there will be enlargement of corpora muscles, therefore leading to erection. Okay, erection. Okay. When you are undergoing sympathetic stimulation, so ito yung fight or flight, okay, di ba? Fight or flight. Ang tendency naman here is towards ejaculation. Okay? Tendency is towards ejaculation. Kasi kanina, kung dilation, this will lead to constriction. No? So, when the helicine arteries constrict, blood will empty from the cavernous tissues. So, maglulupay-pay siya. Okay? And then, so here, more pictures of the penile urethra. No? Penile urethra. Okay? Urethral glands. In between, you have your tunica albuginea. Dorsally, you have your corpora cavernosa. Okay? So what happens when sperm is produced? They develop initially as round cells, your spermatogonia, in the seminiferous tubules. Okay? And then, hormones from the testicles or the testes and the pituitary gland, such as your FSH, stimulate maturation of your sperm cells. Okay? And when the cells mature, they travel to the epididymis for further maturation. And then, kapag i-ejaculate na siya, they will migrate to the vas deferens, travel to the seminal travel to the prostate, where the seminal vesicles will also release their secretions, and then mix with prostatic fluid secreted by the prostate as well. And then they will be emptied out of the system via ejaculation through the urethra. Okay? So, tapos na tayo sa male reproductive system. Now, let's go to the female reproductive system. So, sa female reproductive system, you have uh, a pair of ovaries. So, parang sa male, di ba, you have a pair of testes. Dito, you have a pair of ovaries. You have a pair of oviducts or your fallopian tubes. Kumbaga, sa female, di ba, sa male, di ba, you have a pair of uh, ductus deferens, di ba? Meron kang ductus deferens on the left, meron kang ductus deferens on the right. So dito, meron kang fallopian tubes on the left, meron kang fallopian tubes on the right. And then it leads towards the uterus, and then the vagina, and then to the external genitalia. Okay? Bonus topic is your mammary glands, which are affected by the hormones in the functional state of your reproductive organs, but are not actually part of the female reproductive system. Okay? So your female reproductive system undergoes cyclic changes roughly every 28 days. Okay? Every 28 days, especially the ovaries and the uterus. So yung 28 days na yun, it's a whole menstrual cycle, no? And that menstrual cycle is controlled by the pituitary gonadotropins, si follicle stimulating hormone, and the luteinizing hormone. So these two hormones modulate follicle growth and the development and hormonal production, no? For the menstrual cycle, no? So, doon muna tayo sa ovaries. Kasi this is where your egg cells or your ova are produced, no? So, your ovaries are almond-shaped organs na may dalawang layer. Meron siyang cortex, meron din siyang medulla sa loob. Okay? And key thing to remember regarding your ovaries, you have three types of epithelia, no? You have your cuboidal epithelia, the germinal epithelium, and then, third layer of dense connective tissue capsule called the tunica albuginea, similar to that of the testis, no? So, pag tinignan natin, di ba? Meron kang tunica albuginea outside. And of course, albuginea, the covering is also white, okay? So, medulla, you see the blood vessels. Sa cortex portion, that is where you see your ovarian follicles. So your ovary, the follicles of your ovary become larger and larger. Okay, so let's go through the oocyte differentiation, no? Sorry. What happens when your oocytes grow, no? So, dito pala muna. So, yung ovarian follicles, di ba? Ito yung ovaries natin. Kunyari, for example. Siya yung mga bilog-bilog na nakikita mo sa gilid. Nasa may periphery siya. Okay, these are oocytes surrounded by layers of epithelial cells and lamina. You have primordial, your primary, and then the mature Graafian follicle. Yun yung final form, no? Before it becomes, it releases the oocyte. Okay? So the primordial follicles are follicles formed from the fetal gonad. So these ones are formed during the fetal life, no? And then they become primary follicles kapag sila na yung napili ng organ natin na i-develop, no? So, for example, you receive hormonal stimulation from the brain, yung FSH, na kailangan ng mag-develop ng follicle. They will choose one follicle as a primary oocyte that will enlarge and enlarge until you form the uh, oocyte and the mature Graafian follicle. Okay? What else do you see in the ovaries? You see granulosa cells. These are cells responsible for steroid hormone production while the cell is maturing. Okay? You will also see something called the zona pellucida, to which that surrounds your oocyte, no? So, siya yung parang halo or covering ng oocyte natin. And it is where the sperm cells must bind in order to reach the oocyte for fertilization. Okay? So, ganito yung order ng follicular growth. Okay? So, first, of course, you have the primordial follicle. Siya yung galing sa fetal life. Okay? So follicular cells now undergo mitosis to form your simple cuboidal epithelium around the oocyte. So you will now form your unilaminar, so one layer uni, one laminar is layer. One layer of cuboidal epithelium surrounding your uh, follicle. Kapag meron ng one layer, you call that now unilaminar primary follicle. Okay? Hindi na siya primordial. Primary follicle na siya pag meron na siyang one cell layer na cuboidal around it. Okay? Kapag nag-multiply pa yung cuboidal cells na yun, you will now form a multilaminar primary follicle kasi more than one layer na siya. Okay? What else do you see in the multilaminar primary follicle? 'Di ba? Marami na yung cells, no? So now you call this thing as the granulosa. Okay, you now call this thing as the granulosa. Yung cells dito are granulosa cells. Okay? So next, after that there will be formation of the zone the at the same time pala, rather, you will have the formation of the zona pellucida. Okay, this is the zona pellucida. Okay, so dito dapat magbabind yung sperm cells mo sa zona pellucida kapag nirelease na yung oocyte. Okay, so next. So the cells outside now eventually differentiate into form the outer covering or the theca. Okay, the outer covering or the theca. So initially theca interna lang, tapos eventually magiging dalawa yung layers, magiging theca interna and then theca externa. What else happens? Eventually magkakaroon ng butas or spaces doon sa may area kung nasan yung mga granulosa cells. Okay? And that is what you call your antral follicles. So gumagawa ng bilog, yung butas dito, or rather space here, sa may granulosa cell area to form your secondary or antral follicle. May antrum na binubuo, no? Yung theca coverings mo, meron ng interna and externa. So that's secondary or antral follicle. Tandaan, yung mga spaces here formed, filled with fluid, hindi pa sila isang malaking space, no? Hindi pa sila combine with each other. Kapag yung antrum or kapag yung spaces found here have all combined into one big space called the antrum, that is when you say that your follicle has become a mature or Graafian follicle. There's a single large antrum that accumulates follicular fluid. Okay? So, ano itsura ng Graafian follicle, di ba? You have your primary oocyte we have your oocyte surrounded by zona pellucida. Tapos meron din siyang ring of granulosa cells called the corona radiata. And it's all attached to the back by the cumulus oophorus, no? Tapos meron ka ring of granulosa cells surrounding it. Immediately outside that is the theca interna and then the theca externa. So, anong itsura nun underneath the microscope? Okay? So, here, you have your primordial follicles. So, primordial follicles, sila yung available and they're the ones that develop from fetal life, no? So this is the surface epithelium, usually cuboidal cells. Tapos, ito yung may oocyte sa loob. So, these are your primordial follicles. Okay? Primary follicle kapag siya na yung napiling i-develop ng katawan, no? So, di ba? During your menstrual cycle, ang nilirelease usually one or two oocytes lang per individual, no? Kasi hindi naman tayo built for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 children at once, no? So, one or two, marami na yung tatlo, no? Kapag isa lang yung ni-release, you have a singleton pregnancy. Pag dalawa yung ni-release, tas parehas na fertilize, you can possibly have twins, no? So, fraternal twins naman yun. Okay? So, isa lang yung dinedevelop usually na primary follicle. Pwedeng galing sa left this month, next month, galing naman sa right, etc. Okay? So, galing sa primordial follicles, pag nagkaroon na ng one layer of connective tissue surrounding the primordial follicle, that's now your unilaminar primary follicle, di ba? Unilaminar primary follicle. Kapag more than one layer na, you call these cells now as granulosa cells. When there is already a zona pellucida, this is already a multilaminar primary oocyte. Okay? Ay, primary follicle. Okay? Primary follicle. Next. Kapag ngayon, nagkakaroon na ng space dun sa area where the granulosa cells are, we call this an antral follicle. Okay, pag hindi pa magkakakonect yung spaces na yon, you still call it an antral follicle. Kapag isang malaking space na lang siya, one large space filled with follicular fluid called antrum, that's now your mature Graafian follicle. Okay? The surrounding cell, granulosa cells, dun sa may oocyte mo, is called your corona radiata. Yung stalk that attaches it to the rest of the granulose cells is cumulus oophorus. And then this meron siyang ring of granulose cells around it. Okay? So yun yung nangyayari in follicular growth. What happens now in your menstrual cycle, di ba? Sabi natin, nangyayari yun in preparation for ovulation. So that's actually days 1 to 14 of your 1 to 13 of your menstrual cycle. Okay. Before day 14, there will be an increase in the levels of your, so yung sinabi natin kanina, that's stimulated by the increase in follicle stimulating hormone, FSH. Okay. Follicle stimulating hormone. FSH will trigger the development of your follicle. Your primordial follicle becomes a primary follicle. It becomes an antral follicle and a mature Graafian follicle. Kapag natapos na yon, there will be an increase in the levels of your luteinizing hormone. Okay? Your luteinizing hormone undergoes what you call an LH surge. So nagkakaroon ng sudden spike in in the amount of luteinizing hormone in the blood, and that will trigger your ovulation. Okay? Ovulation is the movement of a very large dominant Graafian follicle, so mature na to, to the surface of the ovary para i-release yung oocyte. Okay? 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 Eventually, what is left behind is this one. And this one will form another structure called your corpus luteum. Okay? Sorry? It will form another structure called your corpus luteum. So, ano yung naiiwan doon? The granulosa cells becomes granulosa lutein. The theca cells become theca lutein. Okay? So, the granulosa cells or your granulosa lutein secretes progesterone. Sorry. Yung tingnan natin. Granulosa lutein secretes progesterone. And then your theca lutein is the one responsible for secreting estrogen. Okay, so itong corpus luteum na to will be maintained uh, 2 weeks after, up to 2 weeks after ovulation, unless the person gets pregnant, no? So, kapag hindi nabuntis yung individual, the corpus luteum will regress after 2 weeks. And it will eventually become what you call corpus albicans. So, add na naman, so it's whitish. So, this is a whitish scar tissue remnant ng iyong corpus luteum. Okay? So, yung corpus luteum mo has different fates depending on what happens, on whether the egg gets fertilized or not. Kapag walang fertilization na nangyari, there will be, the corpus luteum becomes a corpus luteum of menstruation. Okay? So, it will slowly degenerate after 14 days. Kapag nagkaroon ng fertilization, the corpus luteum's lifespan will extend. Okay? You will develop your corpus luteum of pregnancy, and the corpus luteum will enlarge and be maintained for 6 months. Kasi it takes about 6 months before your placenta starts producing its own progesterone. Okay? Ano ba yung importance kasi ng progesterone? So, it's a hormone. So, pro is 4 plus gest is gestation, di ba? Pag sinabi mo, 36 weeks age of gestation. So, this is for pregnancy. It favors your pregnancy. Okay, it's the one that maintains the pregnancy, the attachment of the fetus to the walls of your uterus. No, so this progesterone favors pregnancy, and your corpus luteum of pregnancy also secretes relaxin. Okay, it secretes relaxin. What's the role of the relaxin? It relaxes your symphysis pubis, allowing it allowing your pelvis to expand or enlarge, especially during parturition or childbirth, no? So, nag-expand, the symphysis pubis natin is very dense fibrocartilage. Pero, it loosens that, um, the relaxin loosens that, allows your symphysis pubis to be looser, para kayang i-accommodate ng pelvis yung head ng baby pag mga anak na. Okay? Next, your corpus albicans. So, it's white. It's a whitish scar that replaces a degenerated corpus luteum. Okay? So, yung corpus luteum of menstruation, pagkatapos yung mag-degenerate, it becomes a corpus albicans. Okay? And the corpus albicans is later removed by macrophages. Okay? So, ano yung tsura ng corpus luteum? Ganito lang naman niya. Okay? Corpus luteum, di ba? There, they are characterized by folds of the former granulosa cells, no? Uh, and the granulosa cells collapse as the uh, 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 theca cells, sorry, uh, so the granulosa cells collapses after ovulation, no? So, na-disrupt siya ng theca externa surrounding it, no? So, nakita mo may mga folds, okay? Uh, yung granulosa cells, tas may mga theca lutein. Sorry. Pagkatapos, di ba pag corpus luteum, your granulosa cells become granulosa lutein, your theca cells become theca lutein. So the theca lutein cells will have infoldings papaloob doon sa may mga granulosa cells mo. Okay? So this is corpus luteum. Then your corpus albicans is a scar. So basically, this is connective tissue na lang. No? Hindi na siya gaya nung kanina. May mga cells pa rin tayo that produce secretions. Dito, basically scar tissue that forms at the site of where your corpus luteum was located. No? So mostly collagen, few fibroblasts, no? And eventually, this will be consumed by your macrophages. Okay? So, paano nangyayari? Summary lang din what happens, di ba? Oogonium becomes a primary oocyte in the fetal period. The primary oocyte becomes arrested in prophase 1. Okay? So hanggang prophase 1 ka lang until you reach your adolescence. Okay? So, during childhood, primary oocyte ka pa din. Okay? Dahil in arrest yung primary oocyte mo, no? So, kailan natutuloy ang ang development ng primary oocyte pag nag-puberty ka na. Okay, the primary oocyte can proceed to meiosis 2, form secondary oocytes. And then, once there is ovulation, sorry, pagdating ng meiosis 2, matitigil pa rin siya. Okay, hanggang secondary oocytes pa rin. Okay, tapos eventually, meiosis 2 will only be completed once the egg is fertilized. Okay, so, what do you want? I want you to remember lang is, so, limited lang talaga yung number of oocytes uh, ng babae, di ba? Kasi, it starts from the fetal and embryonic period. So, pagkatapos nitong embryonic period na to, wala ka nang ma-develop na further na oogonia. Hindi kagaya sa sperm, di ba? Lagi yung spermatogonia nila pwedeng mag-divide lang, no? Pero ito, yung oogonium development starts uh, in utero. Okay, so there's only a limited number throughout your lifespan. Okay, and each month, usually isa or at most dalawa or tatlo, usually dalawa kapag may lahi kayo ng twins, lang yung isang oocyte lang yung na-develop into a primary oocyte and into a mature uh, Graafian follicle, di ba? Okay. So, next. Pagtapos natin sa ovaries, let's go to the oviducts or the uterine tubes, also known as the fallopian tubes. This is also known as your salpinx. Okay, dami pangalan. So, fallopian tubes are pairs of muscular tubes continuous with the uterus. Tandaan, continuous with the uterus, but not with the ovary. Okay, yung ovary, nakaplutang siya sa may abdomen. Tapos, may space in between. Okay, there's a space in between. So, pag nag-release ng oocyte, pwedeng maligaw si oocyte. Okay? Pwede siya maligaw kung hindi siya nasalo ng fimbriae. Okay? Kung hindi siya nasalo ng fimbriae, pwedeng maligaw yung oocyte. Kaya nag-release siya, tapos hindi nasalo. Napunta elsewhere sa may tiyan. Okay? Ano mangyayari? Nakipag-coitus yung babae, tapos na-fertilize yung egg na nasa labas. Anong mangyayari kapag na-fertilize yung egg nasa labas? You get ectopic pregnancy. Bigla na lang papasok yung babae. Sabi niya, sakit-sakit nitong certain part of my body. Yung pala, meron siyang ectopic pregnancy. Okay? So, pag ganun, it's not viable. No? So, tatanggalin niyang ectopic na yan kasi it has a tendency to bleed. Okay? So, the ovary is not continuous with your oviduct. Okay? Next. So, pag nag-release na si egg, nasa law ni Fimbriae, magaling siya. Okay? Papasok ngayon sa initial portion, the infundibulum, until it reaches the ampulla. Okay? The ampulla is the middle segment of your fallopian tube. This is the most common site of fertilization. Okay? Pag nagkaroon ng ovulation, saan tatambay yung egg cell? Sa ampulla. Okay? So, yung sperm mo, kung galing siya sa labas, syempre, yung sperm mo galing sa labas, kailangan ang i-travel niya until the ampulla para makasalubong niya yung egg cell. Okay? And then, after the ampulla, there's the narrow isthmus. And then, inside the uterus, uh, merong intramural portion pa, si fallopian tube. Okay? So, yun yung parts of the fallopian tube. Ano itsura naman niya histologically? Well, you have mucosal folds, okay? You have mucosal folds. Siyempre, beneath the mucosa, you have your lamina propria. And then you also have smooth muscle layers, okay? Circular, longitudinal, circular ulit. So, it has several smooth muscle layers of found in the uterine tubes, okay? Anong klaseng epithelium ang meron sa oviducts? It's simple columnar epithelium. Okay? With cilia. Okay? Cilia, yung nagpo-propagate ng oocyte kapag siya ay dadali na papunta sa uterus once it has been fertilized. Okay? So when you look closer at the epithelium, you see this. CC or the ciliated cells, sila yung nagpapasa ng eggs. Na egg, kunyari, papunta sa uterus to. Sila yung nagpapasa ng cells ng egg papunta sa uterus. So those are the CC or ciliated cells. Sometimes you also see this PC. PC are also known as PEG cells. No? So secretory PEG cells, non-ciliated, usually darker staining in appearance compared to the ciliated cells. They secrete a mucus film that covers the epithelium. Okay? So dyan dadaan yung egg cell mo pag papunta na siya sa uterus. Okay, so what are the walls of the uterine tube? Sinabi na rin natin, you have the mucosa, and then you have muscularis layers, and then your serosa. Okay, so ciliated cells are the most abundant. Then you have your PEG cells that secrete mucus. Okay, so now let's go to the uterus. Yung uterus mo, meron tatlong layers yan. Okay, you have the endometrium and the myometrium, and then the serosa. Okay, or the perimetrium. Okay, so endometrium, siya yung innermost. Okay, the endometrium is the uterine mucosa. It has a simple columnar epithelium with simple tubular glands. Okay, and the uterus has two important layers, the stratum functionale and the stratum basalis. Okay, so yung basalis, syempre basal, that's the thick, deep, permanent layer upon which yun siya yung nagre-regenerate, di ba? Ng endometrium mo. Yung nasa ibabaw, the functionalis layer, is a temporary layer that responds to hormones. Okay, so it undergoes cyclic thickening and shedding during your menstrual cycle, di ba? Kapag ikaw ay nagkakaroon ng menstruation, di ba, nagkakaroon ka ng blood loss, may blood na lumalabas sa yung cervical os, may blood na lumalabas sa vagina mo, and the blood actually is part, you see there, is actually your endometrium sloughing off, no? It's your endometrium being sloughed off, being shed during menstruation. So, bakit sinished? Kasi hindi ka naman nabuntis. So, hindi niya kailangan ng ganong kakapal na endometrial layer. Okay? So, kaya siya nagtithicken in anticipation of receiving the fertilized egg. Okay? Pag walang fertilized egg na na-receive, magsished siya. Okay? Next, you have the layer underneath, which is the muscularis layer known as the myometrium. Okay? Myometrium. Okay? And then underneath the myometrium is the perimetrium or the fundus. Eh, so, in the fundus, it's serosa. So, dito, sa ibabaw. Kasi malapit siya sa abdominal tract. Abdominal cavity. Kapag dito sa may gilid naman, sa may body of the uterus, then it's adventitia. Okay? So, magkaiba sila ng connective tissue covering. Sa taas, it's serosa. Sa gilid, it's adventitia. Okay? Pero largely, majority of your uterus is mostly serosa. Okay? So, ano yung tsura ng uterus? Okay? Okay? So, meron kang basal layer of the endometrium bordering the myometrium. Okay? Nandito yung basal cells of the uterine glands. Di ba? Sabi natin sa endometrium has a lot of glands. Okay? So, thickening, cyclic thickening occurs and cyclic shedding also occurs. Okay? So, the epithelium of your uterus is simple, a surface epithelium, simple columnar with cells having cilia. Kasi nga, 'di ba? Diyan pag pinropagate ah, ng fallopian tube mo, yung egg mo papunta sa uterus. So, ililipat pa yung cells papunta sa specific portion of the uterus kung saan siya mag-i-implant. So, meron ding cilia dun sa surface epithelium of your uterus. Okay? Now, let's go to the lower portion of your uterus, which is your cervix. Okay, ito yung cervix mo. Your cervix is the narrow inferior end of the uterus. So, this is technically still part of the uterus. Okay, meron tayong two types of mucosa seen in the cervix. You have the endocervix and then your exocervix. The mucosa of the endocervix is lined by simple columnar epithelium. Okay, it's lined by simple columnar epithelium. And then, so, endocervix, it's simple columnar. Pag exocervix, it's simple squamous. Okay? So, uh, magkaiba sila ng epithelium, no? So, okay? Tayo mag-zoom. Okay? So, the mucosa of the cervical canal, uh, cervix rather, magkaiba siya, no? So, you have this side, simple squamous. And then this one, stratified squamous. Okay? Ay, sorry. Simple squamous. Simple columnar, and then this one is stratified squamous. Okay, simple columnar, and then stratified squamous. Okay, so exocervix is stratified squamous. Simple columnar is endocervix. Yung meeting place, yung junction, yung J dito, di ba? Diyan epithelial junction, diyan mo nakikita yung pagbabago ng lining epithelium. Okay, kanina, simple columnar. Tapos dito, nag-stratified squamous. So, there's a specific epithelial junction in between. Okay? So, what do you see? Uh, in the cervix, no? So, simple columnar, meron din tayong mga cervical glands. Okay? So, meron din tayong mga cervical glands. Ay, sorry. So, what else do you see in the cervix? Sa cervix kasi, it's home to a relatively high population. Yung sa may vagina area particularly, it's home to a particularly high population of microorganisms kasi may normal flora dyan, di ba? So underneath the lamina propria of the cervix, you also see a large number of WBCs and leukocytes. No? So, neutrophils, no? In the lamina propria underneath the epithelium. Okay? So after the cervix, you have the vaginal canal. So your vagina lacks glands and consists, of course, of the following layers: mucosa, muscularis, and then adventitia. The lining is stratified squamous epithelium. Syempre, squamous, it's protective layer against friction, no? So the squamous cells of the vagina accumulate glycogen, and the glycogen is later metabolized by the flora of the vagina, no? Your lactobacillus acidophilus. Okay, so this lactobacillus produces lactic acid. Kaya nagiging low pH yung vagina natin. Kasi yung low pH na yun is protective against pathogenic microorganisms. Okay, it's protection against pathogenic microorganisms. When there are a lot of lactobacilli sa vagina mo, there is less room for these pathogenic organisms to grow. And the low pH also uh, discourages the growth of other microorganisms. Okay? So, ganito yung lining epithelium niya. Stratified squamous epithelium. Okay? So, meron pa rin tayong epithelium. Meron ka pa rin lamina propria. Meron ka pa rin muscular layer. Bundles of smooth muscle. Okay? And then, the external genitalia. You have your, it's also known as, referred to as the vulva. Okay? So, it's fatty. Layer on top, it's called the mons pubis. You have also the vestibule. Okay, so vestibule contains two below-acinar glands. Yung sa may space in between here, that's the vestibule. Okay? It contains glands, no? So, hindi na siya masyadong visible kasi maliliit lang yun. Okay? And then, you have your labia minora. Your labia minora, yung fleshy lips over here. Kasi labia is lips, no? So, mukha siyang lips, okay? These lack hair follicles and has oil glands. And then you have your labia majora. Okay, your labia majora here is similar histologically to the skin of your scrotum. So para skin naman pag labia majora. Yung brown na skin, that's labia majora. Yung pinkish na fleshy portion, that's the labia minora. Okay, sa loob, nandun yung vestibule. Okay. And then you also see something called the clitoris. Okay, the clitoris is an erectile structure found in the vulva that acts similar to the penis. No? So, siya yung stimulate mo para maging pleasurable yung act of reproduction. No? Okay? So, next, you have your mammary glands. So, the last portion deals with alveolar secretory units, highly modified apocrine sweat glands. No? So, they are glands found in the anterior portion of the chest, okay? That has a branching duct system that converge at the nipple, okay? So, marami kang ducts, they all drain towards the nipple. And this is the one that is very active during lactation, di ba? Prolactin secreted by your pituitary glands will trigger milk production, which begins during late pregnancy, and then letdown is triggered by oxytocin, di ba? Sabi natin, after childbirth, no? So just remember that, okay? So I think that's the last slide. So thank you for listening to this lecture, and have a nice day.